Michael Jackson has left the building.
You couldn't wait to say that, could you?
There you go.
John, you want to
That's pretty
follow in
cute.
his footsteps and moonwalk across the...
You know, I am a fantastic dancer for, you know, I really am. I'm just an amazing dancer. It's very impressive.
Johnny Dees, our minister from Cross Point Church, joins us on a Wednesday morning. You know, I'm guessing that East Limestone Park show ain't going to make it this morning after I
guess not.
blocked off the parking lot to
Oh,
give
is that
them a
what that was?
chance.
That was
Coach Pugh tried.
that's what that was about. Okay.
Well, that's what it was about, but evidently it's 20 till, and they ain't here.
Okay.
You know what I can't stand? Somebody that don't show up when they're supposed to. Thank you, John, for
Now.
always being here.
Coach-
Try my best.
Coach is always
We
here.
overslept.
yeah, I've overslept myself.
Hey, it happens,
This-
doesn't
John,
it?
I'm trying to take as many notes as I can in church, but something I just found
that
out
scares
with
me.
your speaking Sunday
What was that?
that I did not know, and I've written it down, and I have circled it.
Oh, boy.
Oh my.
Women get men in trouble.
That's true.
Oh,
You
boy.
did say that.
That's
I
true.
got it right here.
That's
Women
true.
get men in trouble.
You
I
did-
just found that out.
You did circle.
Boy, are
that.
you a slow learner?
You did. You did.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, boy. Well,
Very expensive highway.
it can be, and it was. We were, of course.
What do you mean by that? Explain yourself.
Well, Jamie's.
Why are you just now telling me?
If I'd have just told, it was. I think the first time I ever met you had something to do with a female. So,
No kidding.
No, right.
Sure did.
When you think about that, but no, we were.
Thanks for bringing that up.
You're right. There you go. Way to be your buddy, huh?
Way to go, John. Always make me feel special.
Well.
You're truthful.
Yeah,
Go for
that's
it.
right.
Continue on.
I think there was something
Well,
related
that's a shocker.
in our first
Jamie
meeting.
Cooper
That's
in
right.
trouble with a woman.
Oh my! So should I look here or here?
You just look at Glory.
You just keep talking. I'll let you know.
Right. Okay. No, we were talking the other day about how Solomon had taken all of his wonderful wisdom that he had, and then ended up perverting that wisdom and raised a rotten son named Rehoboam. And of course, Solomon had 700 wives and did all kind of things to please these pagan wives that he was forbidden to marry, but he ended up getting married.
Wore out, too.
Yeah, exactly. 700 wives, 700 mother-in-laws, and 300 other women, and Solomon made a wreck of his life a lot because of too many women in his life, way too many.
That can
How
happen.
many of y'all is that out?
How many people laughed out loud this morning? How many people just laughed out loud this morning?
Well, women get men in trouble. Boy, that's a shocker, man.
And they're incredible blessings too, absolutely. So.
When does that start?
That's right.
As soon as we get off the air, buddy.
You're talking about having a stupid son.
Well,
Personal again.
well, no,
Oh.
not at all. You've got a wonderful son, absolutely, and
I got more than one. I might have been referring to one of them.
there you okay. Could have been. Well, unfortunately, in Solomon's life, Rehoboam, his son, followed some bad advice and some bad decisions, and his father made some bad decisions, and his son Rehoboam just really chose and made horrendously bad decisions, and led to his demise and the whole kingdom's demise. And that can happen to people, and you need to watch out for that. But part of the reason was he watched his father say one thing and do another, and that can tear us up sometimes. So.
I liked your illustration when you were talking about whole heart, half heart, no heart.
What Gloria's talking
And
about.
Braveheart.
And Braveheart,
No,
there you go,
Braveheart.
which is one of the better movies of all time. But what Gloria's talking about is that, we all love the story of David.
Mm-hmm.
David was a man after God's own heart. And the beauty, what I love about the story of David is even though David was a man after God's own heart, David himself did some pretty horrendous acts. He committed adultery. He had a husband killed to cover up the sin. And yet at the same time, he was still called a man after God's own heart because he was so repentant of his sin. But David had a whole heart. His son Solomon ended up having a half a heart, and Rehoboam had 0 heart. And boy, I was just saying, in my case, I hope I've at least had a half a heart. I know my sons and daughter have whole hearts, hoping to see what my grandchildren have if they have really great hearts. But
Knowing your children, they're going to have amazing hearts.
Well,
I got something else, sir, John. You said in this world, and it goes in with that, there are 2 tragedies. One is not getting what you want, and the other is getting
what you want.
What does that mean?
Well, that's a good what does that mean kind of statement, because unfortunately, most people, I kind of like to say this on and I say this on Sunday when I pray, and it's not original with me, but it's true. On Sunday morning, when I do pray over the church, in some way, shape, or form, on almost every chair in the place, there's a broken heart at some level. Most everybody in the room has some area of hurt deep down inside, something that didn't happen for them, something about their family, whatever it might be. And so we don't all get everything that we want in life, what we dream about. We hope to get, but we don't always get everything. On the other hand, one of the greatest tragedies is if you do get everything that you want in life. And Solomon, he got, quote, everything that he wanted in life, and yet ended up being a very miserable man. If you ever read the book of Ecclesiastes, it'll kind of share all that with you. And so, God always knows the right balance of giving you what you need and not always everything you want.
That's like, thank God for unanswered prayers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the story you used to tell when you was growing up in Mobile, and you were a lifeguard over at the pool, and you always had your heart set on this little gal over there that,
yeah. I crushed my heart.
Then you saw her 30 years later at a reunion.
Thank God. thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
I didn't get her.
Which, and I'm sure she was saying the same thing, but I wanted her so bad, thought I was going to die without her.
John, I'm going to see if you can do this memory-wise here. You're doing some statistics Sunday. When a child joins the church, the family percentage goes mother. But then you said when a dad joins the church first, 93% of the time the entire family would go. And I hope I got your figures right.
Yeah, Jamie, you got it just exactly right. The statistics tell us that if a child goes first and becomes a Christian, there's a 3% chance that the rest of the family, the whole family, will follow and become, which is great for a child to come to Christ. If the mama comes,
17.
which is really a good thing, the mama is about 17%. But if daddy falls in love with the Lord and gets where he's supposed to be, like Jamie just said, 93% of the rest of the family. It just shows the power of the Father.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've also got here, which I found this very hard to believe, but the more you think about it, and Thomas just simply talking about Mac, he had to drop Mac, get up at 2:30 this morning, drop Mac off to catch a bus to Atlanta for a medieval feast they're going to down there.
Yeah.
Dads average 8 minutes a day with their kids.
Oh, yeah.
8 minutes?
8 minutes.
You think that's nothing.
Right, 8 minutes a day in direct conversation.
Now, is that one-on-one with each kid, or?
Interaction.
Well, and again, I would imagine they're talking about with each kid, which actually, if a dad were to take 8 minutes focused time, even that focused time would be a whole lot better than a lot of kids get. But it's a shame that we are so busy and we get so consumed with so many other things that we forget to invest time in the most precious commodity we have, who are with us at best 18 years. And then to be able to really focus some time on them. And I was just so thankful that even though my father and I had a horrendous falling out one time.
No, you told your dad to go to hell. That's my next subject.
Share that
how'd
story.
That go, Frank?
We have plenty of time. Share that
What
story.
happened, John? I got that story down here because I told my dad that several times too. How'd that go, Frank? Not too good, right?
And
Can't hear out of this ear.
And
What?
what Frank is right. And what's good is that I had a father who, when I said that to, it didn't go too good. And because, once again, because of a girlfriend, once again, a woman.
You had one phone in your house like all of us did. We had a party line.
Yeah, oh my God. Well, we had one too at one time. I know what the party lines remember.
Get off the phone!
And you hear Miss Bertha across the street talking about her arthritis. But
So you listen too, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So,
So you told your dad because he got mad at you.
Well, first of all, you got bad grades. Go ahead and tell the story.
I was just hanging on the phone every night with a little girl that I was just crazy about, and my grades were suffering and stuff like that. And Dad said, "Boy, you need to pick up your grades, and you're hanging out with this girl and too crazy about her too much." And I was in the 9th grade, and I just got so mad at my dad, and I just jumped up and I said, "You just go to hell, old man." Which is not a good move, not a good move. And my father, who hadn't read any books on how you're supposed to raise kids.
He didn't put you in timeout, did he?
Right, he didn't put me in timeout. He didn't sit there and say, Johnny's trying to get in touch with his feelings or anything like that. He didn't go through any of that. He jumped up.
My dad went to the same school.
Yeah, I think they went to that old school.
Yeah,
is
I'll
where
tell
they
you.
went. And he chased me in the living room. I turned around, I would have ever fought, but he jacked my jaw and bloodied my nose. And it was a good thing. And I went outside, and of course it was torn up. and then came back in about an hour later. And of course, Mama did what any good mama does, and she sat there, and I was trying to clean myself up from the blood on the sink, sitting there with the little hands on the hip. You should be so ashamed of yourself. Your father worked so hard for you. And of course, like any good mama would, because she loved my daddy. And but that night, I went by my daddy's room, and I looked in there, and my father was laying there on his bed, just weeping. And I knew that I had broken my father's heart. But the great thing is that began something incredible with my father-in-law, that we really got to where we did talk probably a good 30, 35, 40 minutes a day, at least Monday through Friday.
So it brought you closer, actually,
It brought
after
us
that.
much, much closer.
Why is it when you grow up like that, and I'm sure all of us can relate to that, you think your dad is the dumbest person on earth growing up, but yet the older you get, the smarter he becomes?
Isn't that the truth?
And I ain't started working with my kids yet,
You're not getting what you want.
I guarantee
Yes, it has.
I guarantee you it is working with your
But I mean,
children.
is that true with everybody? Was it just
I would
me?
think
You know,
so.
your dad, you're the dumbest man. What's wrong with you?
Well, you know, there is some merit in watching your children grow up. You know, part of becoming a young man, you know, it should always be with respect and great dignity, but part of that is just realizing you've got to have your own thoughts and feelings and stuff like that. And sure, you're going to question your old man, you know, sometimes. But what happens is most of the time, by the time you get down the road a little bit, you realize Dad was pretty smart, and he was trying to make a living all the time and trying to feed our family and all those things that he had to do. We don't think about that when we're 15
Well, teenagers
16.
don't. They think, okay, I've got a car, I've got a job, I've got money in my pocket, I don't have to pay for anything.
Absolutely.
So they don't have a care in the world.
Right.
The
That's
thing,
reason,
the
yeah.
thing nowadays is, and I saw a survey on this the other day, I think it was on the Today Show or something, it showed this couple that had given up the internet and stuff for a month, but it just showed, the average family nowadays, if you go somewhere, and
Tom
Mac,
can relate.
people like Tom's kid over there, they'll be on a phone. They won't look up.
Right, exactly.
Well, wives are the same way.
I knew that was coming.
But I mean, they will not look up. I mean, you go somewhere, luckily they don't
We're
do it
all
in church. The only person I've
electronic
ever seen doing
devices.
church is Doc Overholt.
Yeah,
He'll be there the whole time on his phone.
I've caught him several times. I'm like, stop that. He's
Stop.
like, I got to. I'm not
Well, he's a
listening.
preacher. But I mean,
He's heard it all before.
And he's sitting on the front row.
But constantly kids, and that's why people are getting run over and stuff. They're walking down the road and they never look up. Not only kids, mothers and teenagers and
We're all guilty of it.
everybody,
Not you.
people like me and Frank and you.
Who don't touch a
Tony.
phone.
No, we
don't know how.
We still talk to people. That's right. Jason was
Still
talking about a
communicate.
little group of 4 girls that were just sitting there at the mall, and of course, all 4 of them sitting there together, like in a, but you know, just
Texting each other.
texting
And they
each other.
probably are.
Probably right.
You know, there has been times at our house I'll think, you know, who are you texting? Well, so-and-so. Or they'll be talking. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're right next to each
I'm
other.
sitting there the other night watching TV with Cassidy, who's, by the way, McLaren Ford's leading salesman right now. Go by and see him.
All right.
Look
There
for
you
his
go.
Ford.
Good
Go
job,
by
Cass.
and see him this
Good
week.
job.
Right down the road. I get commission.
No, you do
Doing
not.
that
No,
out.
you do not.
So I'm in there watching TV. Hey, y'all look at this. Both of them over there.
There you go. That's
What?
right,
We were
right.
talking about you.
Now, playing a game or doing whatever. What was the deal? You were talking, it was, you know, the day before Valentine's Day Sunday. You were talking about Percy Sledge. When a man loves a woman. What was you? How were you using that reference in that song?
Well, when a man loves a woman, which you've had played on, y'all were.
We'll probably play it.
That's
Yeah,
why
okay, my bad, that's right. Yeah, that's a classic. We all know that is. But I was just talking about, once again, Solomon lost his mind over these women that he loved so much and did incredibly crazy things, which a lot of men do. We've all been there. But just a great old hit, and I just applied it, and I just broke out in a little Percy Sledge on Sunday morning. Well, it wasn't Percy Sledge, it was John Dees.
We're about to hear the real thing. Johnny Dees
there
comes
you
up
go.
across court at 7:30 this morning, and again tonight, and on Sunday morning, Sunday nights also. Y'all welcome to join us 9 o'clock, and then again at 10:30, 10:45, down the road right across from Bob Jones High School. Thank goodness for their parking. Weather's going to be perfect time to get out and hear Johnny Lee Dees sing a tune. And
That's right.
Come in this Sunday before you just hop in Easter Sunday.
yeah,
There you
I'll be
go.
in right
Come
back.
see us. Come
Speaking
see
of
us.
Percy Sledge, you know, I just told you he's going to be singing he's going to be the headliner out at the festival. What's it called? I forgot it. Whistle Stop.
Huntsville, Whistle Stop,
I just read that
barbecue.
to you earlier. It comes up in the second weekend in May, I do believe.
Think
Gloria
so.
and I had the pleasure many years ago getting
Great
backstage
time.
with
Percy.
Percy over at UNA Foster Auditorium. We got some raw footage I found too, but it's got some bad language in it, so I'll have to cut that
Only
out for
2
you.
bad words
But this
he
is the legendary song from the man himself from over in Leeton, Alabama.
Percy Sledge, and we'll see y'all tomorrow morning bright and early at 6 a.m.
Bye-bye.